Hi everyone, welcome to RPA Explorers channel.
In today's video, we are going to see about queues in ServiceNow RPA. So first, we'll get started with how you can create your queues in RPA Hub and different options available while creating it. And also, we'll see how you can add your queue connectors in RPA Studio. Now, we'll go to the ServiceNow instance. So once you are in ServiceNow, go to all and you can filter with RPA. So when you launch it, you will be redirected to this page where you can go to this list, and under list you have different categories and we are going to concentrate on queue. So let's click on queue. Right now I don't have any queue in my instance, so let's get started by creating it. So I'll click on new from here. And before we create it, let's understand these different options available over here. So we are in the details page, and first is the name, in which you can give any meaningful name to your queue, and the second is application. So by default it is global, which defines the application scope of this record, and the third option, which is maximum attempts, by default it is 1. So this maximum attempts, or you can also say the maximum number of retries for the specific work item. When you create some work item in queue, you can see with different status. For example, it get created with in progress and it moves to pending. Based on the success or failure, it will be success and failure. And for failure, we have two different category, which is application exception and business exception. So for any failed item, we have this option to be used, which is maximum attempt. Whatever item gets failed, you can provide the number of re-attempt for that specific item, so which we can see in a detailed way later. And for now, you can also change the value. For example, given the value 3 means that the failed item will be retried thrice after the failed one. Okay. And the second is work item name unique. So when you create your work item, there will be name for each and every work item which you can identify it. So in case you want your work item name to be unique, you can enable this. If not, you can disable this. And also you have something called is work item content sensitive. Assume that you have something called response content and request content in your queue. So when you create your work item, you create something with request content. So in case you have some sensitive content in your case, you have some sensitive value. For example, you have some unique number or some card number which might be very sensitive. In that case, you can just enable this option. In that way, you won't see your actual request content, which will be kind of encrypted message. So you can also protect your request content in that way by just enabling this. Next option is attempt delay, which is in minutes, which comes along with the maximum attempts. For example, you have 3 maximum attempt. You can also give the attempt delay for each item. For example, I'll give 1 minute, so it will take 1 minute of gap for the first retry and the second retry. And also you can just pass it as an integer value. For example, giving it 30 seconds is not, and click somewhere, you can also see this error message. So you should be given only the integers value. So I'll do 1. And you have description, which is optional, and the below what we have is purge work items. So as the name indicate, it just purge the work item. Purging is nothing but removing or deleting it. So here you can see purge status and purge after days, which means you can add the status of work item which will get purged after the given days. For example, by default it is 30, and by default we have the success and failure in the purge. So it means that work item with status success and failure after 30 days will be removed from the work item. You can also remove it, or you can also add it. For example, you have in progress, pending, success. So you just go ahead and edit your option accordingly. And the next option is AHT, which is average handling time for the given work item. So for every work item, it also calculate the average handling time according to the success status. So if the success status is not purged after given days, you will also get this option. With all work items, which is for calculating this AHT. Default it is enabled. It means that all the status with success will be calculated for AHT. If you disable this, you also have an option to provide the work item count. Basically defines the number of success count, I mean number of the latest success count, which is used for calculating this AHT, and it ranges from 22,000. So you can also change the value. For example, let me give 500. So it takes the first 500 item, which means the last processed 500 successful item that is used for calculating this AHT. So this is how all the options in queue works. Let's create a queue and let's provide it some name. I'm giving test queue. And also for now I'm going to enable this option but not the content sensitive. In that way we can see how the request content looks. And also I'm not purging the status of success, only the failure for now. Also you can edit these values later even after creating it, except this option which is work item case sensitive, which cannot be modified once it is created. Apart from this, you can change the rest of the option later as well. For now I'm just giving the status as failure, and let's give include all work item. And also I'm going to leave the maximum attempt as 3 but not any delay. Once save. So after we create, we get additional 2 options here, which is work item and bot process configuration. So first is work item, in which you have different columns, for example name, status, stage, created, and also you can edit or remove your columns just by going over here, edit columns. For example, I need the request content, response content, so which you can add it here and you can click on OK. Just do a refresh to view it's okay. So you can just modify in case you, and also you can remove the fields accordingly. And as we are giving this work item name unique, which you can see it from here. For example, you want to filter your queue with some specific name, we just have to click on this and you can do a filter. And we have different filter conditions as well. And the second is status, which we have pending, in progress, success and failure. So you can also filter with that. And we have stage, created, the robot it used, the request content and the response content. And request content is something which you put in while creating the work item. Response content is something which you update while updating the status of the queue. So these details which we'll be seeing in the next video. And for now let's go to the bot process configuration. So whichever process is using the specific queue, you just have to add the bot process over here. So currently I don't have any bot process. So once we create our process, we can just add it. And also you want your queue to be used for different processes, you can just add multiple processes which are in available state. So this is all about the queues in RPA Hub, and also you can weave the queues from here. You can see the queue name, whatever details we have created, and you have to edit the columns, you can also add it. For example, for now we don't have this option. In case you need, you can enable it, which can be viewed from here. So now let's go to the studio and see how you can add your queue connector. Okay, I have already created some sample automation. For adding your connector, just go to this global object, click on add connectors, and you can filter with queue. You just have to add it. So once you add it, you can see it under global objects. And in order to view its different methods, you just double click on it and you can view all the methods in the object explorer. So currently we have 6 different methods. You can see to create your work item, to get it, and to update it. So explore all these in a detailed video. So for now we'll look at its properties as well. So when you double click on this, you can see its method. When you just click on this, and you can go to your properties, where you can see 2 options, name and queue name. Name is something, the name for just for the connector, and queue name is something which you have to get it from the queue and pass it over here. We are just hard coding the value. So every time you recreate your queue or change your queue, make sure you update your queue name in the connector properties as well. So this is about the queue. And we have seen how you can create your queue and different options available while creating, and also how you can add your connector. So in the next video we are going to see how you can create your work item, different status and everything in a detailed video. In case you like my video, make sure you subscribe and hit the like button as well. Thank you.